Hey, how's it going? I'll just doing another flat Earth video, and it's a bit cheeky, but here basically Neil deGrasse Tyson's proving that the whole system's designed to indoctrinate you. So in a sense, he's basically saying that flat Earth is true, or in the least people that are questioning flat Earth or the shape of the Earth are people who are not indoctrinated, which is the design of the education system. So let's hear it out.
We never know.
All right, look.
I was watching some videos over the weekend that were preposterous.
Yeah.
There are so many conspiracy theories and whatnot around that you can't even keep track of them. This one blew my mind. The Earth is flat. Have you heard the flat earther, people?
There's huge irony here, because if you look in the background, whether that's real or just an image, I mean, you can just tell in the background that the horizon's flat. That might be New York City or whatever it is. So it's kind of funny that they would even pick that kind of backdrop.
That believe the Earth is flat.
This is a deep failure of our educational system.
Thank you.
I've stopped chasing after people with those belief systems because I don't see the point. There's something deeper going on in our society that somehow enables people to believe they're making cogent arguments.
Yeah.
They're not.
They're not.
And so, you know what? I think it is. The way we teach science is you're just some empty vessel and we pour the science into you and then you regurgitate it on an exam.
Right.
Okay, so he just describes exactly not just science education, but all of education, worldwide. That's exactly what we've done. That's exactly what we do, if you're in school right now. So, that is needed, in order to push the ball Earth. So he's kind of, let's keep hearing what he says, but he's definitely nailing exactly the way the education system is right now.
Science is a way of thinking. It's a way of understanding and probing the operations of nature.
You get enough pieces to then add your own curiosity and innovative, and that's how you proceed.
That's how you proceed. But you need to know what. So I to the point where I wrote an op-ed a few weeks ago, maybe a couple of months ago, titled "What Science Is and How and Why It Works." It's on my Facebook page. Just put that title in Google, you'll find it. And I tried to show people that science is a way of understanding.
Right.
You can't just pull stuff out of your ass and claim that it's science.
But it's science.
Because you throw some science words behind it.
Well, Neil, let me briefly explain what this is all about. They think that the Earth is flat. Now, it looks like you ever see a flat globed map from the North Pole? It's...
Okay, so, he's kind of he's really hurting his position, because what science should be, if they were getting to be, purists about it, is like it should be based on, experiments, and experiments that repeat over and over, and preferably, then can be mathematically modeled. But if not, then if it's not possible to model them, at least, if it's done enough times and in certain conditions, it can be understood that that's a law, that if you do that again, and whatever day you choose or under these conditions, it will work. It will repeat, and then so it's can be considered, sort of foundational, and you don't have to revisit it. But he's just by saying it's a way of thinking. It's basically he's kind of saying it's almost like a way of life, and it really is. It's just the whole thing is just like everything's so complicated. Nothing can really be known perfectly, and certainly not God. So it's exactly. It makes sense, that God would do this, need this type of stuff, in order to hide himself during these days, which it's very clear that he is. But pay attention to the fact that he's basically, he's really hurting his own case by saying that the way science is taught is that you just put information into a person's brain and then they regurgitate it back on a test, like slurp and burp, basically is what we called it back in the day in school. You just slurp it and then you burp it back on a test. And so that's exactly what it is. And, he's basically saying that's a failure, that he's saying flat Earth is a failure of that system. And it is flat Earth is a failure of that system. That is a true statement. A lot of these guys, they're Freemasons, they say things that seem like they're, supporting their point, but they're actually kind of saying things that are true and putting out in plain sight. Like even Shaquille O'Neal coming out saying that the Earth is flat, and talking about, you know, driving from four corners of the U.S. You know, it's like he's making it sound not scientific, but it is. You know, you can't design roads, you know, that like curve, you know, and like from those distances, you know, and all that kind of stuff. You know, like roads are flat, you know, and railroads are an even stronger argument that they would need to be flat, you know, for them to actually be able to be constructed. So, you know, this is more evidence of that, you know, that basically to me, Neil Tyson is proving that the science system is designed the way that he said it is, and he admits that, and flat Earth is a failure of that system. And so we want to be dropouts and flunkies of that system. You know, we never want to be a person who just sits there and accepts information, then puts it back on a piece of paper, and then maybe get a pat on the back from our teachers and parents and other concentration camps like universities and stuff. You know, it's like, what's the point of that? You know, it's like, that's just basically survival. You're just basically essentially a robot, you know, and really with the mark of the beast coming, this microchip, this RFID microchip, basically God's going to just go and tag everybody who's like that. You know, it's like, if you want to be like that, you know, that's totally fine. You know, that's up to you. You know, and that's predetermined from the beginning. But, you know, God's going to like put you on a showcase. He's going to like let the world know, you know, who's a robot and who's not. And that's really what the whole education system is designed to be, is to produce zombies and robots. And then, you know, they graduate and wear, you know, a Masonic flat hat. And then they go away to, you know, university, and then, you know, do the same stuff over again, just with more work possibly, and then go into corporate America and then sit there and just, you know, pass around Excel files and, you know, do the same thing, you know, just whatever the corporate culture is, whatever that is, just fit into that and, you know, potentially wiggle your way up, or at least just keep your job. So, you know, the whole system basically is designed, you know, to me, ultimately that will lead to the culmination of this microchip. And then God is basically saying, like, for those who want to just be robotic and, you know, just go along with what everybody else is doing and really have no spiritual understanding or a notion of an afterlife or anything like that, you know, there you go. You know, he's gonna tattoo you with a chip, and then the people that are in charge of that chip and maintaining it and all of that, you know, if you trust them, you know, good luck to you. You know, that's insane. You should not want to be here knowing that the Earth is flat, without the microchip even anywhere near in its existence, and it is. We know that it's right around the corner, but you shouldn't even want to be here. You know, if you were one of those people who found out about, you know, flat Earth years ago, or just kind of knew intuitively that it was flat at a young age. So, you know, because then it just means that the whole world, you know, is in on it, and it is true. You know, it's absolutely true that. And the Bible says that, you know, that the devil has deceived the whole world, you know, and that he's come down with great wrath, but we know that he has a little bit of time. And so, you know, this definitely, flat Earth is the absolute, without a doubt, absolute proof that we're living in the last days. There's no way that this is a coincidence that this started picking up steam on YouTube, you know, whenever, 2000. 9, 10, 11, or whenever it started, you know, getting out there. And, you know, there's no way that that's a coincidence. And we know a lot of other truths are coming out, a lot of conspiracy theories that are on the international level that there's no way that they could be done by humans. So we're living in those days, and looks like Neil Tyson is a flat earther now.